At our grandfather's funeral reception, my cousin announced, since Uncle can't run the construction company anymore, I'll be taking over as CEO. I stood up and said, actually, let's talk about the Riverside project. My cousin's wife dropped her plate. My name's Jack, and 2 weeks ago, my grandfather died at 89. He'd founded Montgomery Construction in 1962, building half the schools and hospitals in our county. My dad, Paul, had been CEO for 20 years, until a stroke last year left him partially paralyzed. He could still think clearly, just couldn't work full-time anymore. My cousin Brandon had been vice president for 8 years. The funeral reception was at my parents' house. Brandon showed up with his wife Ashley, both acting like they were already running things. I'd been working as the company's project manager for 6 years, handling the actual construction sites while Brandon worked from the office. Grandpa had told me privately that when Dad fully retired, the CEO position was mine. He'd put it in writing 3 months before he died. Brandon waited until most of the family had arrived before making his move. He stood up in the living room, glass in hand. I know today is about remembering Grandpa, but he'd want us to talk about the company's future. Uncle Paul's health means he can't continue as CEO. I've been preparing for this transition for years. Tomorrow, I'll be meeting with our board to assume full control. My Aunt Linda nodded. That makes sense. Brandon's been there the longest. Ashley smiled. We've already been looking at office renovations. It's time to modernize. Dad tried to say something from his wheelchair, but the stroke made his speech slow. Brandon talked over him. Uncle Paul, you've earned your rest. Let me handle this. That's when I opened my laptop. Before Brandon starts renovating, maybe we should discuss what happened to the Riverside Medical Center project. Brandon's confident expression flickered. What about it? I pulled up the spreadsheet I've been building for 4 months. The project budget was $8.3 million. We finished under budget at $7.9 million. That should mean a $400,000 profit for the company. Brandon shrugged. Exactly. Great project management on my part. Except the company only showed a $75,000 profit. I couldn't figure out where $325,000 went. I turned the laptop around so everyone could see. So I started checking the vendor invoices you approved. Turns out you created 3 fake subcontracting companies. Riverside Electrical LLC, Riverside Plumbing Services, and Riverside HVAC Solutions. Ashley's face went white. Brandon tried to laugh. Jack, you're confused about how corporate structures work. All 3 companies have the same registered address. Your home address, Brandon. You billed our company $325,000 for work that our regular crews actually did, then paid yourself through these shell companies. My Uncle Robert stood up. Brandon, what the hell? Brandon's voice got defensive. Those were legitimate subcontracting fees. I talked to our actual crews. They did all the electrical, plumbing, and HVAC work themselves. These invoices are pure fiction. I clicked to the next screen, but that's just Riverside. I went back through 3 years of projects. The Westfield School renovation, the county hospital expansion, and the Morrison office building. Same pattern every time. Fake companies, fake invoices, money disappearing. I looked at Dad. He was crying. Brandon had been stealing from him for 3 years. Total amount, $1.7 million. The room erupted. My aunt was yelling. My uncle was on his feet. Ashley grabbed her purse. I didn't know. Brandon, you told me those were consulting fees. Brandon pointed at me. You're trying to sabotage me because you want to be CEO. This is a power play. I pulled out another folder. These are bank statements showing deposits to your personal account, matching every fake invoice, down to the dollar. I also have emails where you told our crews to bill their time to different project codes to hide what they actually worked on. Dad managed to speak clearly enough. Out. Get out of my house. Brandon looked around the room. Nobody was on his side anymore. My Aunt Linda looked disgusted. Uncle Robert was already on his phone, probably calling his lawyer friend. Ashley was halfway to the door. Brandon tried one last time. Jack, we can work this out. Family doesn't. You stole from your uncle while he was recovering from a stroke. You stole from Grandpa's legacy. We're done. Brandon and Ashley left. Dad signed the paperwork making me CEO the next morning. Brandon's facing criminal charges for fraud and embezzlement. The company's insurance is covering most of what he stole. Ashley filed for separation when she found out Brandon had bought a beach condo with the stolen money. Brandon called last week, asking if we could settle this privately. I told him to talk to our lawyer. Some family members steal from you, thinking blood will protect them. They're wrong.